Hi, I'm Nan Feist and welcome to my studio. Today we're doing the Spine Up 2 video. In the Spine Up 1 video we learned about the three functions of the spine. The three functions of the spine was a respiratory function, a nervous system function, and a mobility function, or we call a somatic function of moving you around. In the first video we worked on that respiratory meditation, and we also worked on a little sensory meditation. In this exercise, we're going to do some mobility, but we're really going to do all of those processes of the spine all put together in one exercise that I like to call the breakfast bar. So in my old studio, I had this lovely kitchen that had a countertop that I did this exercise in. And I don't have that studio anymore. I don't have a kitchen. I don't have a countertop. But you do in your kitchen. And I like the idea that you're in your kitchen in the morning and you have this few minutes to kill while you're waiting for your coffee to percolate or possibly your toast to pop up. And you can do this exercise and set your spine and your posture right for the entire day. So the first thing you do is when you're in your kitchen, you're standing at your countertop. I want you to turn around. I'm not going to turn around, but I want you to turn around and look at the far wall. And where the ceiling meets the wall, that's how far your neck is going to be sensing out and back behind you for the wall where it meets the ceiling. The lumbar spine is going to be a little more, maybe about halfway up that wall. Find another spot on that wall on the opposite side of your kitchen that you can be sensing for while you're doing this exercise. So you start out with just opening up your sensory system of your cervical spine, your little eyes in the back of your neck, right? And you feel for where the wall meets the ceiling. Just opening your attention, your sensory system to backspace already pulls you into a posture correctness. How about we do that with the lumbar spine too? We think about, we sense, we feel that spot on the far wall, halfway up the wall or so, that we picked for our lumbar spine, and we use the eyes in the back of our lumbar spine, feeling and sensing for that spot. It too will begin to pull you into backspace and lift you upright, activating those muscles with the sensory system, right? Okay, so I'm going to go over here on the wall. I'm going to use my hand just lightly on the wall to keep me from falling over, right? Just a little safety here. You're going to use the hands lightly on your kitchen countertop, right? And I'm going to breathe in just to get ready. On the exhale, I'm going to use, remember I'm looking to the sensory spot behind me on where the wall meets the ceiling and halfway up the wall, to use my muscles to lift me up onto my toes. And then I'm going to come right back down to where I started. So I'm going to do that exercise on an exhale. I'm going to breathe in to get ready. I'm going to use my spine in all of its functions. Breathing, it's going to exhale. Sensory, it's going to feel for the far wall. And mobility, it's going to pick me up. So breathe in to get ready. Exhale to lift up onto my toes, right? The return is an inhale where I'm going to fill up my lungs. And they're going to be staying levitated up here while I reach my legs back down to the ground. So simple exercise of exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Simple and not so simple. What I typically see people do is get themselves up here and then drop themselves back down. Even my beginning dancers at the ballet bar, this is beginning ballet bar, right, will lift themselves up and then drop down. But that is not what we're doing here. We are trying to lift our spine and our center of gravity up in the air when we lift up. And stay here, stretching the legs away from our center as we go back down. Right? Dr. Ida Rolf used to say, it's always up, honey. The spine is always up. It has to overcome a constant of gravity. So it's not going to go crashing back down into gravity. It's going to work on lifting you out of gravity here and suspending you out of gravity while you're stretching your legs to come back down. So at some time in your life, you've probably done this calf stretch against the wall, where you put all your weight into the wall and you stretch your leg back. Well, you don't go falling back into this leg, because that's not a stretch. You keep your weight up here forward and you reach your leg away. And that is exactly what we're doing here in the breakfast bar. We're lifting ourselves up from our spine and its connection to the far wall. You're tethered up here. You don't have to really worry about how am I going to keep myself up here. You're tethered up here. You're breathing in, inflating your lungs. That too keeps you lifted up here. But your heels and your legs, they are stretching away from you toward the floor. And then I exhale again, lifting my spine. So I would like to imagine that I am this tribal woman with this big basket on my head. And so I'm going to stay up in this basket on my head, keeping my spine up there when I reach my heels back down to the ground. When I reach my heels back down to the ground, I don't go falling into them and then coming forward to lift up. I'm trying to stay right over the center of my foot, which is really right over my ankle, right over my forefoot, right? So when I lift up here, I'm not too far forward where I'm going to fall. I'm right over my ankle. My toes are reaching long for the far wall. My heels are reaching long for the far wall. As I come down, I'm going to keep my center of gravity right here over my forefoot and let my heels reach for the far wall. What I'm not going to do is fall back here. I'm going to breathe in to get ready. Exhale. Spine feeling and lifting up behind me, up into that basket. As I stretch my feet back down. Coming back down. One more time. Exhale. Inhale. Coming back down nice and slow, reaching my feet for the far wall. One last time. I know I said one last time. One more last time. Breathing in again. Inflating those lungs as we come down, reaching for the far wall. And I just want you to take your little observational walk around the room and see what difference that might have made. Just standing here, you might already feel what difference that has made to your posture. Maybe you feel a little lighter, maybe you feel a little softer, taller, just more comfortable. That works too. More aware of back space, possibly. Okay, we have one more exercise. This one's a walking exercise. So you need a little hallway somewhere where you can walk quite a ways back and forth. We'll start in one end of the hallway and we'll face the wall, where we're going to look up on the wall for where the ceiling meets the wall, for where the cervical spine needs to be sensing and reaching up. And somewhere 2/3 of the way up the wall, a spot there somewhere hopefully that you can find that your lumbar spine will be reaching for. But we're going to turn around and we're going to sense with that cervical spine where the ceiling meets the wall. So open up the eyes in the back of your head, your back space. Same with the lumbar spine. We're opening up the eyes in the back of the lumbar spine for that spot 2/3 of the way up the wall. And we're going to be sensing and feeling back space, maybe even opening our ears to hear what's behind us. But we're going to be walking this way. So we're tethered back there, or we're walking forward. We're just walking, feeling back space, until you get to the end of your hallway, and then you'll have to turn around and think about the spots that might be on the wall, on the far wall behind you, where the ceiling meets the wall for your neck, somewhere 2/3 of the wall for your lumbar spine, sensing that back space, listening behind you, and yet walking forward, right? Sensing behind you, but walking forward. Now, when I go to turn around, it's not the job of my face to be turning me around, though I do. A lot of people do follow their face all around in the world all the time, but it's the job of my spine to turn me around. We're going to try that one more time. We're feeling backspace up high on the wall, listening to backspace to keep ourselves really present back there. And yet we're going to be walking forward. So here we are, tethered to backspace, walking forward, getting to the end and turning with our lumbar spine, reconnecting to something behind us over here, and walking forward again. So that's an example of walking and inhabiting backspace and forward space. So much in life we're just following our face around. We're just, haven't got a clue what's behind us or who might be behind us, right? But our forefathers, the cavemen or the early man, they had to pay attention to what was behind them 360. They were a lot better at doing that than we in modern society are. I'm just asking you to reopen those pathways that have recessed in favor of the eyes and the nose and forward space, and activate them again. Get the spine to be working again. Who knows what runs on those pathways? Okay, I'd like you to practice this practice outside or at your office, wherever you are. You can just open up backspace and feel what's behind you, feel tethered to the wall at any time. It's a nice support system. I also want you to not to forget to take your observational walk around the room, doing nothing but paying attention to how much your nervous system has already adapted from these simple exercises. Enjoy that walk. I hope it makes you feel light and comfortable and alive. Those are all the feelings of embodiment. So enjoy that embodiment.